Plenty of altcoins have finally broken their downtrend, but many investors are wondering, is this a sell the rip opportunity, or do we buy the dip and hope for higher prices, potentially into new all-time highs? Bitcoin has also broken through some resistance levels and continues to consolidate, waiting on that next resistance level to be broken in order for more money to flow back into altcoins for another mini alt season. So let's take a look at a few signs for this alt season breaking down or the continuation of the alt season. First up, do that thing we all hate to hear. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, bell notification icon, and a thank you to our sponsors of the channel, SwiftX, $10 of free Bitcoin in the link down below, and Bybit. There's 6 days to go to win $4,000 of Ethereum. 4 lucky winners will take home $1,000 of Ethereum each using that link down below when you deposit at least $10 onto Bybit. All right, let's dive in. First up, market caps, Bitcoin 44,000, Ethereum's broken the $3,100 level, which I looked at in yesterday's video. Stick around to the end of the video and you'll get the links to the previous videos as well as some very helpful long-term videos for yourself there. BNB 415, and of course, ADA makes a good comeback here after being absolutely decimated down to 74 or so cents, now up 38%. So this is something to keep in mind if we're just trading altcoins rather than investing long term. So of course, this is my opinion. That's why you're on my channel here. Now I'm looking at two different scenarios. One is trading altcoins, where you're looking for a set buy order and a set sell order, and the other is long-term investing. Regular viewers of the channel will know that my long-term picture is that I still see a further low coming in the market. I think we'll probably have some sort of good time between now and potentially May, with April being a relatively okay month. We do need to see some relief rally after many, many months down, and I think this might be the time, especially with the excitement coming back into the market just ever so slightly. Now, I think there will be a further downside, which is why I'd be looking for longer term positions at that point, but I'm not scared to take a few positions now, knowing full well that we could see lower prices in the future. Remember, investing is all about risk and reward and what you're prepared to play with in terms of your own portfolios and where you see the prices going next. Now for Google searches. Bitcoin, crypto, NFT, Dogecoin. Dogecoin really only had its light in 2021 and has since been pretty much dead since those peaks in May. NFTs also had a late run to their highest levels of search volume in January. So that's something to note, that NFTs are on the incline but have since fallen away very sharply. Bitcoin had its biggest search volumes back in 2017 and 2018. And for 2021, we didn't really see those same levels that came through in 2017. Long term, maybe years from now, when we get the next peak, I'd expect Bitcoin to get past these levels in terms of search volume. Crypto had its year in 2021, so there was more search volume for crypto. You can see the red line is crypto, and that's the highest that it's ever been. So far, it's really only been Bitcoin that has lagged in the search volumes compared to everything else in the cryptocurrency space. And so at the moment, Bitcoin's at 19 in its search volume history over the last 5 years. The good news is it's still at a higher low than what it was through the bear market, and it had a low of around 8. So I'll keep an eye on that between that 7 and 9 through that period in case Bitcoin gets as low as that point. So if we do go down that far, then I think it's pretty much going to be dead goings for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency until it starts to pick up in the search traffic. But at the moment, we are sitting at 19, which is basically at the previous highs. So the little peaks that we had in March of 2020, which is when COVID struck, and then again as it started to break out in May of 2020 as well. Now for sign one that I'm looking out for a stop, a halt in an altcoin season. This is the total market cap. It's on a weekly chart, so I'm looking at a broader picture than your typical hour or 4-hour chart. And the next resistance level is at about $2.05-ish trillion. So it's somewhere around these previous highs before the market got rejected. So that was back in February. And you can see that peak is at about 2.064. And then the 50% level is at 2.25 trillion. So that's why I've got this little peak, this little ruler here. We're just looking towards these peaks at around 6 or so percent, 6 to 7%. And then up to that 50% level, I'm looking at around another 15% or so. So really my first sign here is if this market gets to these resistance levels, first I'll be looking at that 2.05 to 2.10, 2.1, and then also 2.25. This is a total cryptocurrency market cap. When it gets to that point, I'll be looking for signs of potential weakness in the altcoins that I'm trading at the moment. So looking at the alts, yes, they're popping off. I'm not trying to put any negative spin on the situation, but I think most of us that are here remember the pain of the markets falling and not taking profits. So although new investors don't want to hear the bad comes when the good times are on. You want to be looking for positions, or you want to be looking to sell out of those cryptos that you're trading. Now, if your view, you can be completely up to you what you believe is happening. If your view is that the market is heading off to a new all-time high, then you might not want to sell at these points. So there's the options there depending on how you like to invest. My view is we'll probably hit somewhere around these points, maybe push a little bit further. And then over the period of 2022, I'm not looking short term here, we'll start to fade out again. Maybe we get a higher low, meaning we form another base somewhere up here after doing that sort of thing and back down. Or we get a lower low. Maybe we get rejected, the market just fades out, and we get another lower low before the market recovers and starts its next leg for that cryptocurrency bull market. So sign one, as a recap, is looking for resistance on the total cryptocurrency market caps. I have 2 points at the moment, 2.05 and 2.25, so 2.25 trillion. And if we can get above this, then I would look to say, well, maybe I'm wrong at this point and the money is flowing into Bitcoin and Ethereum because that's what makes up the bulk of the total market cap. So we get above the 50% level, start to consolidate and work its way higher. Then I would say, well, there's a lot more strength in this market than what I could see back at this level. Now for total 3. So this is all cryptocurrencies, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's on a similar picture, similar sort of pattern, but it isn't as strong as the total market cap. Of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum haven't fallen as far as the rest of the altcoins. So the next stage I'm looking at for this particular market, so kind of like your sign 2, looking out for resistance in the total market caps. So this has got about another 6% or so to go to get to the next downtrend resistance level. Using the measuring tool, that's about 6% from where we currently are if we get there this week. If we get there in the next couple of weeks, then it's obviously lower. Maybe we'll see some rejection here, maybe we won't, but that's the point of the market. We've got to see what the market is showing us. At the moment, the trend is up. So this is a good sign that we could see further to go, and we've got to play with the side of the market. The market's saying it's up. We got to break through these downtrends. That's a good sign as well, that this could just slow the market even further. And I'll be looking for somewhere around the $860 billion level. So it shouldn't be a new surprise to anyone here. That is the 50% level. It's been on the chart for several weeks now, and pretty close to where it was in January as well. So again, looking for potential resistance there. And you can see that there was a fair bit of rejection, a fair bit of action going on throughout 2021. At that level, we had a little bit above, a little bit below, and the market just seemed to gravitate around that number before breaking down. So I dare say a good side of things, we get back up to that level, and that could give us a little bit more time of an alt season. So throwing that positivity back into our cryptocurrency profits. But it's going to be up to you whether you sell the rip or buy the dip in expectations of the market bouncing higher and then breaking through some pretty strong resistance after a long downtrend. As for Bitcoin, let's go. I've got sign number 2, sign number 3, but essentially we're at around 4 different signs I'm looking for here. Bitcoin, we're at 40, call it 44,000, $100 off it at this point. The next resistance, 46,000. It's been on the chart for many, many weeks now. That's the level I'm looking for Bitcoin to get above, break the resistance, and start to consolidate like I've got with this little dotted line over here. So you can see the points been put in. The first thing I'm looking at is potential rejection again at 46K. I got all excited back here in early March for a breakout above 46K. It didn't happen, but there were higher lows all the way up. So although I was wrong at that point for it breaking through, which I thought it may happen at that point, the flip side to that is the lows were getting higher. So the timing was out. Pricing, I think we'll still get there, but the timing was out. This is sort of the difficulty and the nuances of technical analysis and getting into the timing. The timing is the most important, but most people pay attention only to price. Timing is quite difficult as well. So that's my first sign there. Maybe we get a rejection here. If Bitcoin does reject at 46, but the market is still feeling confident in the entire space. And I think the altcoin season will potentially just kick on just a little longer. And remember, when I say altcoin season, I'm using it very lightly and using a mini altcoin season because a lot of these cryptos aren't popping off that much. You get the odd one or two which are starting to push a little higher, like Axie, as we'll have a look at in a second. Obviously, ADA is up 40%, and you got a few of those which are going a lot heavier than some of the others. But remember, they have been crushed over the last 3, 5, 6 months as well. Now, the next sign that we have on the chart is a little further up. That's at that major 50%, and that is the low $50,000 zone. Now, if Bitcoin does break above 52, I think the alt season may be off, maybe, because all of that money will get excited and flow into Bitcoin again, because that is the major 50% level. There's a lot of resistance at that 52. We saw the first rejection in September at around 53 before it got absolutely dumped on the liquidations. And then the Evergrande fiasco happened in China. Remember that? It's pretty much at the exact same price as what it was back then, saying that the world should have collapsed at that point. But again, the cycle does continue. Bitcoin still in a sideways trading range for the last year and a half. So I don't consider it a long-term bear market for Bitcoin. But in a short term, obviously that is a clear downtrend, which you could say is a medium, maybe even a short-term bear market. At the moment, trends are up. Short term, very short term, we're looking at a bull market in the short term. So the next level, sign 3, I'm looking at a rejection at 50%. If there is a rejection at 50%, around $50,000 to $52,000. If the market is feeling more confident that we only get a short pullback, so this level here, we only pull back to maybe the mid to high 40,000s, then that might lead into altcoins feeling a little more excited again, and we get that push through in alts again. So it's going to be a bit of a stepping stone, a little bit of a staircase step up along the way to this top. I don't think this is going to be a takeoff in altcoins, but I do see a lot of positivity in these altcoins. And these are the signs that I'm looking out for to either sell a little bit of those rips if I think they're getting towards the end of their move, or if I hold on for the next stage of the ride. Maybe I take a little bit of profits at each of those resistance points. Maybe I hold on a little bit more for the rest of that ride. What's the good of all of that if we don't even have an example here? So Axie is the example. Put this across any other cryptocurrency that you're using. I'm looking at Axie here because it has been absolutely crushed since November. It was down at a peak of 75% from that all-time high, and the downtrend remained. This is the blue diagonal downline. Only recently did it break above that, and the last week or so, it's at a 44% increase from that breakout. So this is what I'll be looking at and lining Axie up with the rest of my charts. I'll be looking at where does this start to peak, where this is the total market cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum, so all of the cryptocurrencies. Where will the total market cap peak? Will these all come out very similar? Will they all start to hit resistance at about the same time at those critical levels that I've pointed out on the chart? And then putting all of the ingredients into this puzzle, cake, bake it, whatever you do, looking at where Axie comes into its resistance levels when those other charts line up with their resistance levels. All right, so I hope this is all starting to come together. Axie going up to that 50% level, probably getting somewhere around 80, 85, maybe a little peak above. You can see it does like to break above and come back under, but the closes were under this level. So I think $83-ish is going to be a critical level. If it slices through, and goes for any cryptocurrency, if it slices through, that's a pretty good sign that this crypto is actually stronger than it first appeared. But that slices through and then closes above and starts to make a level, not just slice through and come back under. That's still very weak, like you can see here. It had another 3 weeks down from that $100 to about 48. So it still lost 50% in those few weeks. That's all the ingredients that I'm putting together to see how this altcoin plays out, and then how I can best take some profits from the market. Should I be looking to sell the rips, or of course my ideas change and the structure changes in the market and I want to then buy the dips. Remember, it's always looking at support and resistance, and of course our swing charts. And of course, if you want to learn more from the markets, check out the links to Patreon and our free newsletter. Link is in the top of the description, and our Bybit Ethereum giveaway, $4,000. Use the link down below. 4 lucky winners exclusively to this channel and Michael Pizzino's channel. Thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Until then, have more fun to get more done.